Dawn is the quiet time. Over most of the city, stillness. This is the quiet time. But daylight ends the silence. Now, here and there, you hear the sounds of stirring and awakening.
Right.
This is the beginning. In the hours ahead will come other sounds that, through the coming day and night, will combine and blend and add up to the grand total. The sound of 1,000,000 people. Some are big sounds. But there are others, loud, soft, distinct, or vague, familiar, or strange. Each has a place and a meaning. Each tells something of the story of life in the heart of America. Listen to the sound of 1,000,000. This is part of it. A sound echoing down the city's history. Since the days when this was a frontier capital, Kansas Cityans have always heard the sound of food on the hoof. And today it remains a center of the livestock industry. And there's the sound of grain pouring in from the broad wheatlands of the Middle West, stored, processed, traded. At Kansas City's Board of Trade, you can hear the clamor of commerce in action. Each shout, each gesture affects a nation's economy. And with the noise of the city, there's a certain dignity. One purpose, perhaps, of the Swope Park Zoo is to let us see and hear ourselves, mirrored in nature's other creatures. From the park comes the happy sound of a little train. But elsewhere, the thunder of a big one. Transportation adds its voice to the city's chorus. Railroads carrying people and products, oil and hogs and machines, all the wondrous variety of America, linking the city to every part of the nation. These are the sounds of people on the move.
Your attention, please. Santa Fe number 5 for Lawrence, Topeka, Emporia, Newton, Wichita, Oklahoma City, Flight 137, arriving Gate 3. Mr. Richard Green, Mr. Richard Green, please come to the information booth.
And a modern note, the roar of jets, reminding the country's heartland of its duties in defense. But with aircraft that can fight, planes that are fun. In the sound of a million are the carnival noises of people at play, enjoying themselves. And there are sounds that can bring back a memory of a golden afternoon, a sunny season, the poetry of movement and action. Part of the city's voice is heard at the Kansas City Open Golf Tournament. Still another part, speedboats buzzing like a swarm of angry hornets. And the good, honest, workmanlike sound of a riverboat going about its business, shoving a string of barges up the Missouri. And there is the sound of traffic, the life stream of a modern city, moving over bridges and traffic ways, all the arteries that keep the city on the go. For the American does not stand still. He is a man on the move. And the sound of the city is the restless hum of a million people working to build a bigger and better and busier city, day by day. But silence is a sound, too, heard in the areas of quiet beauty. For Kansas City is a city of gracious homes, places of trees and flowers and lawns where the voice of the city is hushed. A bird song sounds more clearly than a factory whistle. This is part of life in the city, the easy, restful part. And there are homes for the city's guests, too. Hotels for tourists, out-of-town shoppers, businessmen, sightseers, entertainment seekers. Hotels to accommodate thousands of visitors to the conventions that each year meet in the municipal auditorium. Among them, youthful ambassadors from the farms of all America.
What the future holds for the farmer of tomorrow is speculative, but we do know that it will be a future based upon scientific study and research in an atomic age.
America, America,
is a stirring contribution to the sound of the city, a reminder that with all its booming industry, this is still a city built upon the land.
For the Star Farmer of America.
Thanks very much for this award. This will surely be one of the highlights of my life. Thank you.
And each year, at American Royal Time, Kansas City observes its bond with agriculture. The products of the land find their way to the city, and the city's products may go back to the farms. These are the busy, rhythmic sounds of the garment industry, making everything from work clothes to the fashions of the day. From the heart of America come style creations worn by 1 out of every 7 women in the nation. And the city contributes fashions for the stars of the sports world, too. Styles that carry a particular magic. This is part of the sound of a million when the Athletics are in town. In the sound of a million people, there's news, and the news has sounds of its own. The clatter and roar of the presses of a great newspaper. Television and radio add their sounds to the line of communication. And always, there's this familiar note. The wires of the Southwestern Bell Telephone Company link more than 1/3 of a million subscribers in the metropolitan area with every corner of the world. Each click of a relay signals another message of business or friendship, news, love, or emergency. In the sound of the city are tones that alarm and yet reassure. The sirens that scream of danger also mean that the city is acting to protect itself. city's hospitals are command posts in the war against disease and injury. And there are forces to fight another enemy, crime. The police department, on duty to raise a restraining hand against the lawbreaker or lend a helping hand to a child. In the midst of the city's clamor are the quiet places of learning, schools and colleges, where education is youth's goal. But learning is not for youth alone. It's a continuing part of the whole city's life. In its research centers, scientific studies essential to the future economy and industrial growth of mid-America go on endlessly. The Linda Hall Library, one of the nation's greatest treasuries of technical knowledge. Here, the sounds are hushed. There is no distraction for the thinker. And there are other places of learning too, not of science, but of the arts. The William Rockwell Nelson Gallery and Mary Atkins Museum.
This one, by Lucy Cooney, is perhaps one of the most controversial. What do you notice about her face?
She has an arrow on the forehead.
You say that's the 16th century?
Here, open to all, is a place of aesthetic inspiration, a place to reflect, to learn, or just to look. Around its islands of quietness, the city's river of sound flows. Away from the downtown streets, it ripples busily through the unique outlying shopping centers. This is the sound of people in touch with one another. The sound of a plant that each day turns out 3 million messages of greeting to congratulate, commiserate, cheer, or amuse. Or to extend a religious greeting.
In illo tempore, loquenta iese turbis extolens devocium quaedam mulier de turba dixit Beatus sente qui te portavi, et ubra que subsiste, ad ille dixit quinimo beati adem verbum Dei, et custodios illud.
From its churches of every faith come the sounds of reverence. Those who pray must also work. And where they work, the city's voice shouts its loudest. This is the sound of steel. Steel to build America, to house and transport and defend it. There's the quiet hum that goes with the production of power to light the city, run its industries. From the mighty Missouri, an inexhaustible supply of water. And through a network of pipelines, a never-ending flow of oil and natural gas. Fuel for homes and factories. This is the new city. No longer a cow town, but a hefty giant. Listen to its voice. This is the city shouting its strength, its vigor. These are the sounds of the things it can do, the things it can make and build and market around the world. This is the crescendo of the city's symphony. The very sound of our age. Jet engines on the testing blocks. And you hear the sound of other engines, too, purring a testimonial to the city's rank as the second largest auto assembly center in America. The city builds for the future, but remembers its past as well. The historic records of a native son, the 33rd President of the United States, are housed in the Harry S. Truman Library. And the city takes time from today to plan and dream of tomorrow. Hard-headed, practical dreams that even now are taking shape. New buildings, parks, traffic ways. Clean ribbons of concrete across what were areas of decay. Arteries to carry the thousands to work and then home again, and perhaps off to an evening's entertainment. The Kansas City Starlight Theater, where thousands move outdoors to enjoy top musical attractions with Broadway stars. After dark is a time for going places, doing things, for dining out, perhaps enjoying the city's gift to gourmets, the Kansas City steak. A sizzle in the sound of a million. The city streets flare up in a final brilliance, a neon wonderland for those who look for entertainment. Dancing, a touch of the jazz beat that will always be a part of the 12th Street rhythm. finally, even the latest night owl tires. The skyscrapers blend with the night. There is a lonely sound across the water. For a few hours again, it's the quiet time, but a quiet that never endures. For with the dawn will come again, stronger with each tomorrow, the unforgettable sound. The sound of 1,000,000 people. The living beat of the heart of America.